Nothing like cruising on the Scrambler. What's that? Ooh, wait a minute. What do we have here? Looks like a little path. Whoa, hang on a second. Wait, I have to make a call. Hold on a sec, guys. Yeah, hello. Off-Road Gatekeeping Association? Yeah? Yeah, I know, it's my 5th time calling this week. Hey, listen, so I just wanted to make sure that this path I'm about to go down is approved. Okay, sure. I'm on hold, guys. Give me a sec. Hold on. Oh, yes. Hello. Hey. So I'm on a Ducati Scrambler desert sled. Yeah, no, I know it's not a real off-road bike. And I'm looking at this path, and I feel like it could be constituted as not real off-road, but I just wanted to make sure with the association. No, it's about as wide as a single road. No, I see some branches, and it's mostly gravel. No mud, no big rocks, nothing. Yeah, I'm on a Ducati Scrambler. Yep. Okay, so it's not real off-road. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, I'll tell the audience that. All right, have a good one. All right, bye. Thank you. All right, guys, cleared it up with the council. This is not real off-road, so I can do it. I can ride on it. It's okay. Whew, glad I got that cleared up. That would have been embarrassing. Oh my God, that would have been so embarrassing to go on this road and it's actually off-road. After I said I'd never ride off-road again. Whew, that would be really something. This is starting to feel a little off-roady to me. I don't know about you guys. Oh, look at that. Well, he said it wasn't off-road, right? So I guess we're clear. This sport touring thing is taking a strange turn, guys. I gotta say, I didn't really anticipate doing this sort of thing on a sport touring bike, but you know, touring's touring, so we're doing the best we can here. Ooh, some chunky rocks. Okay, don't tell anybody. We're gonna have to edit that out because that was definitely a little more off-road. Ugh. Hope I don't get in trouble. What if I slide the rear a little bit? Yeah, it kind of feels like that could be constituted as off-road, huh? Ooh, we're dodging some branches. Feels pretty off-roady to me. Guys, I better get out of here before I get in trouble with the off-road guys. Let's get a nice little slide going though. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I think I really pushed the boundaries there, but the council told me it was okay, so they had my geolocation, so we're gonna get on out of here. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sport Touring Noob on the desert sled that is much beloved, much maligned on the channel now. So put up that video a while back explaining to you guys that I'm just too damn cheap to buy a proper sport touring bike, so I made my own, and the vast majority of the comments were so positive. Thank you guys for, you know, validating my cheapness, so to speak. This is a quick follow-up moto vlog, a classic piece of content for motorcycling YouTube, to just tell you guys how it's going and when the big tour is coming. So today I am doing a pretty big ride. I'm in the middle of a pretty large ride here, and I thought I'd chime in with you guys and talk through some of the things that I've noticed that are working and are not working with this motorcycle. So the first area of concern that I've heard a lot of people mention in the comments was, Yam, how are you going to go sport touring with a bike without a windshield? And to that I say, I've already done it. Back in 2019, I rode this motorcycle about 700 miles south across the border to Mexico into the mountains of Galeana. Did a big old ride down there. And it was cold, it wasn't that fun. It's a level 2 fun, level 3 fun. I can't quite remember what's the qualifier there for the levels of fun. But it did it, you know? And I'm kind of a weird guy in that I obviously do see the benefits of a big windshield. I've ridden a Goldwing with like a full bubble windshield type of thing where you feel nothing. And I don't know, for me, having a naked bike like this, or a Scrambler style bike like this, where I can feel the wind very evenly on my chest and on my head, it actually doesn't fatigue me all that much. So I've been doing some check rides kind of closer to Austin just to make sure this thing's gonna be good for my Big Bend trip coming up in a few weeks. I'm going out to Big Bend for 3 or 4 days, gonna go ride this motorcycle a bunch around there and back. Should be a lot of fun. You obviously want to make sure that everything's working right. So I've been doing big miles here around town, 300-400 miles a day, and it seems to work okay. I don't get too fatigued. I'll sit on the highway for an hour at a time, and it doesn't really bother me all that much. So I don't know, it's not that big of a consideration. The other thing that I saw people say were fairings. Yeah, you need fairings on your touring bike, and that's another thing that I don't really think it's that important. There was a guy, I don't remember his name, Harry something, I believe it was, who actually rode one of these desert sleds, this particular Ducati model, around the world. And he did so with pretty minor modifications, you know. I think he had a little windshield on it, but, you know, he was able to take this platform sans fairings all around the world. So if he can do it, I think I'll be just fine. And it lends credence to the idea that, you know, certainly you can do anything with any tool, and there are definitely better tools for the job. I'm not disagreeing with you guys there, those of you that chimed in on the comments and were very irate that I had the audacity to call this a sport touring bike. But for me and where I'm at, I feel like I can chuck on as many miles as I need to and want to with this motorcycle. The biggest thing for me was the overall ergonomics package. I wanted my back to be nice and bone upright, my arms to be nice and upright, so that I could be comfortable in that way. Feeling the wind isn't too bad to me. Having the wind not handled by fairings isn't too bad for me, and I'm perfectly okay with it. Speaking of bad tools for the job, I've already done something similar back in 2017 and 18 actually, but 2017 was the first time I did it. I used to have a four-wheeled friend, a 370Z, that was my little sports car back in the day. It's been replaced by my current 911 that I have, that I love so dearly. But I took that car on 2 separate gigantic road trips that were ill-advised by everyone that I knew. They were like, you can't take a car like that on a huge trip. What are you thinking? It's so uncomfortable. It's so small. It's so impractical. And I don't know, man. It was just me. I loaded that little thing up to the gills, and I had a tent in it. I had all my food, my supplies. It was a bit silly, and I did have to get a couple Airbnbs here and there, but I made it work, you know? And I think that those kinds of journeys are a lot more fun, you know? Actually doing the thing, and even if it's not perfect, is so much better than trying to make sure it's gonna be perfect before you ever embark, you know? That's why I wanted to show you guys this project, to show you guys that you could just do stuff. You don't have to ask anybody's permission. You don't have to get a perfect motorcycle for the perfect job. You can literally just do whatever you want to do. And yeah, it may not work out perfectly, it may not be the greatest thing ever, but you're gonna have a heck of a lot of fun doing it, and you're gonna learn a ton, and you're gonna make memories and experiences, which ultimately is what life is about. Life is not about trying to optimize every single little decision so that it's perfect and sitting there and counting everything and making sure it's all right. It's about going out there and having some fun. Now, the one thing I do want to adjust on this bike, because I have noticed it's causing some issues, is the seat. The seat is not so comfortable, and I remember I felt that when I went down to Mexico. It's comfortable for a short stint, 2-3 hours, no problem on it. Once you start edging past 4 or 5 hours in the saddle, your butt starts to get a little uncomfortable. So I might look at getting like a little cover for it, or maybe even swapping to Ducati's comfort seat, but that is a little pricey. I think they want like $400 for that unit. But if it's worth it, it's worth it, you know? So that's the one thing I've already noticed is not so nice on the Scrambler. A big point I saw too is people were, I don't know how people were thinking this, a very American mindset. A couple comments said that this doesn't have enough grunt and power to do what I'm trying to do. And that's just patently ridiculous, right? This is an 803cc V-twin motorcycle making 75 horsepower and 50 foot-pounds of torque, thereabouts. For me, while I'm on it, it weighs about 450 pounds. That is ample power for me to sit on the highway and go 85 miles an hour all day long. It will not complain one bit. It does not feel sluggish or anemic doing those sorts of speeds. And it's a very American mindset to think that you need a 1200cc BMW GS or Tiger or a 1600cc Goldwing to go touring. You really don't. Is it nicer? Yes. It goes back to what I was saying earlier. There are certain tools that are nicer for the things you're trying to do, but completely not necessary, right? It's not necessary to do that sort of thing with it. Looking at this little dirt trail on the side of the road here, kind of want to hit it, but I said I'd never ride off-road again. Said I'd never do that again, so I can't do it. It's okay, that's not real off-road. That's what they tell me. There's a couple other things with this bike that I'm definitely going to want to adjust and to fix. Look at that legend right there. He knows what I'm talking about. The rear brake master cylinder is like totally smoked on this bike. I don't know, it's always had issues ever since I bought this thing. I think because one of the spills that I took with it when I first got the bike compromised the master cylinder in a way. And so it does this weird thing where, like, number one, I have to adjust it all the way down to get any kind of pressure out of it. And then number two, the pressure that it does have is minuscule at best. It hardly does anything for the actual brake pressure. So I kind of want to get that sorted. I might swap in a new unit, maybe an aftermarket unit even, see if I can get it to work with the existing little rod that it pushes against the cylinder on. So we'll see about that. Rear master cylinder, not looking too hot. Clutch is slipping a little bit. That's because I do so many wheelies with this thing. And I think I've just smoked the clutch after years and years of wheeling. So gotta swap in a new clutch. I noticed that accelerating the highway tends to slip a little bit. It's fine, it'll do it. It's not great, but it'll do it. So I gotta get that sorted. And then the last thing is my tubeless wheel setup. So as you guys see, I have my little TPMS monitor here because I was always a little uncertain of how the the tubeless setup would work. And ultimately, it's worked pretty well, I have to say. I've really enjoyed the tubeless setup, and it seems to be working very, very well while I'm riding it. Because what I've noticed is, if I leave the bike for 2 days in the garage, the front does indeed lose pressure. It's not that bad. It lost like 5 psi over 2 days, so that's a very small leak. And I'm okay with, you know, I don't ride this bike every single day, so I'm okay with, like, when I get on it, I'm like, oh, okay, I just got to check the tire pressure and fill it up a little bit. Not a huge deal, but something I will want to sort out before I embark on my big adventure. But I've done like a huge single day ride with it, and it held pressure the entire day. So I'm not sure where it's leaking from. I gotta get the front wheel off and do the bathtub trick with it again, see where that little air is escaping out of it. But it should be an easy fix, and just find the little spot and seal it up. It's just gotta be one of those spokes that's just letting out just like a couple of bubbles of air every minute or so, because it's so small and totally manageable. Like I said, during the day, as you ride it, it doesn't lose pressure. It seems to only lose pressure when you let it sit for a long time in the garage. And if I'm out in the open, out in the wild, let's say the Big Bend trip I'm planning on doing, you know, that's gonna be like, if I'm at a hotel overnight, it might lose a couple pounds of pressure. I have an inflator, I can just fill it back up and it'll be totally fine. A little annoying, I'd like to fix it, but still workable. The rear, totally perfect. It's sat at 36 psi for the last 2 weeks or something like that, so I know that thing's sealed completely. There's no leaks in it at all. So yeah, this thing is working pretty good, dude. It's working pretty good. I know some of you were rooting for me to go on my big adventure with it, and I'd already be complaining, and I'd say, no, I wish I got a Goldwing. Why didn't I get a Tracer 9? But I'm laughing all the way to the bank because I kept all that money in there. And I can still do the thing I wanted to do, which is my ultimate goal. And I still love this bike, man. It's still good. It's still a lot of fun. So guys, that is a little update on the Scrambler touring. So again, I've just been taking around here in Austin, making sure that it's gonna run right for the big trip. I will definitely make a whole video out of the maiden touring voyage of it. I definitely want to clue you guys in on that, but I'm simply waiting for the weather. Today is finally some beautiful weather here in Austin. Just waiting till it gets a little less cold, and I'm gonna go out there to the desert, have some fun with the desert sled. So thanks so much for joining me on today's video. I do appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.